Welcome to the Real Estate Show. Now, this show we're going to talk about is 9 tricks the developers play with the home buyer. What is that you have to see that you don't fall prey to such tricks, and how do you ensure that you get a home that you need, not the home that is sold. The first and the primary trick that is played by the developer is that there is an artificial scarcity which has been created. That means when you buy a home, you walk into a developer's place, you look at the project and you say, okay, I want this home. The first and the foremost that they do is show you a scarcity in terms of the home available or the houses or the flats available. That means they will show you a paper which says that the whole lot of places already been sold. So this artificial scarcity which is being shown by them, do not fall prey to it. So that makes you hurry up on the decision that you're going to make to buy a home. The second is the eagerness to buy a place. Now, they understand the game and the psychology of you as a home buyer. The moment you show them that you are eager to buy the place, you've lost the game of negotiation. That means the moment they see that you are going to buy this place, you cannot negotiate further, either in terms of the location of flats, the height of the flat, or the floor of the flat, or probably the rate itself. So that means what is happening here is, do not show your eagerness. That is what they are looking for when you buy the place. The third is, don't be mesmerized by the sample flat or the brochure that they show. If your flat today is costing, let's say, 1 crore or 1.5 crore, in Bombay it's like 2 crores or 3 crores a flat, they are spending in terms of the interiors for the sample flat an equal or probably more than the cost of the flat itself. So that itself makes the buyer mesmerized with what they are showing. So that is something that you'll have to be realistic about. You're going to be very specific to say that, I want to see a flat which is not furnished. What you're going to give me in terms of the finish, what you're going to give me in terms of your bathrooms fittings, what is that you're going to give me. So that's where you should be looking for. Well, the fourth point is, never buy a flat which is attached to the terrace. Now what I mean by that is that the whole lot of developers across metros, across grade 2 cities, grade 3 cities, what they do is that the flats which are attached to the terrace, they are sold as premium flats. The problem is, today the terrace is not legally yours. You cannot buy terrace which are part of the flat. They are not legally yours. When the developer sells you, in terms of all legal documentation, they are never part of it. So that's one thing that you'll have to remember, that buying a flat which is attached to the terrace or below the terrace, which is part of a public terrace, so that becomes a legal issue later on. Today when you buy it, it's an expensive place to buy, and tomorrow when you sell it, you will never get an NOC from the society, from the authorities for that to be sold. The fifth point is that when you buy a flat and when the developer is selling you a flat, the first and foremost is, get all the legal documentation vetted. Ask for legal documentation. every builder you used to go, they would never give you an approved layout. The one of the most important reason is because the approved plan, is never shared before, because you will know what you're getting and what is got approved. It was never a norm before for the home buyers to get an approved layout, because it is not even part of your documentation process. Except your flat, there is nothing in terms of the overall legality of the building. If it is, how many floor the building is, how many basements you have, what are the parkings, etc., is being given to the home buyers, is not available. So these are issues which the buyer should know. You are investing in a place where it is your lifetime of saving. So make sure you understand the legal processes, spend few thousand rupees to make sure that you are vetting it, you have a lawyer who is vetting it, and then you know what you're buying. The sixth point is never fall for scheme. The first and foremost is, in the past, I've seen in the past 5, 6, 7 years, 8 years, there are new schemes which has come up, which is called the 1090 scheme. You pay 10% now and you pay the rest 90% on possession. There are 2080 scheme, there are 3070 scheme, there are 4060 scheme. Now what are these schemes actually is? The first and foremost is that there are no schemes. When you're paying 10% to a developer, now he's getting the rest 80% or probably 85% from the bank on your behalf. Now what it means is, tomorrow when you take, let's say, a 1090 scheme. Now what does 1090 scheme is? That you're paying 10% now. The builder is getting 90, probably I would say 95% when you book the flat. The liability of the rest of the payment to be made by him is yours if the building is not ready. That means if the builder in between abandons the project or not able to complete the project, it is you who will have to pay that amount to the bank. Now these are schemes which have been formulated. It is being formulated by these tricky developers. They have, quote with the bank to make sure that these new schemes are being formed. They get the rate of interest at a home buyer's cost, which they will never get if they go to a bank. So this is one area that you should be very clear about. Take a standard way of buying. You pay slab wise, or you negotiate that you can, you only pay 10% now and the rest will only be paid on the possession, if that's what it means. But that's probably have to be seen if that is the way the developers is playing, or it's a sheer way of buying a home. The seventh point is that every city has its own development plan. These development plans are that tomorrow, it can be tomorrow, it can be 10 years or it can be 15 years. So they make a development plan for the next 10, 15, 20 years. And what does the developer tell you in terms of the surrounding development? They will show you that this is what the municipality is going to show. So they're going to show you a very rosy picture about it. Be realistic when you go and buy it. See the way it is now and see that tomorrow these infrastructure and development across can happen or cannot happen. So you got to make your judgment to see that has to be realistic approach, and be prepared if these infrastructure development across your projects happens or don't happen. The eighth point is is the checking of the carpet area. Now post RERA, it has become mandatory for the developers to talk about carpet area, to write about carpet area, but then you've got to check your own carpet area. But mind well, most projects are not sold on carpet area, it is sold on saleable area, which is much different to what carpet area is and a built-up area is. It's a whole different game of this thing. So make sure when you go to a developer, talk cost on carpet area. That is where you will not get fooled at all. The ninth trick the developers play is on the parking area. Now, what is the parking area and what's the trick these developers play? First and foremost is every home buyer that is there gets a parking area for free. This is as per the Supreme Court norms and as per all across India, all states, one parking is free of cost as part of the sale. What it means is that when you get one parking, in most cases in all metros these parking are sold. You should not buy the parking because that's for free. If you want another one, you probably want 2 more or 3 more. Those things can be negotiated when you buy it, but make sure you understand what it is. The other thing is, the whole lot of developer sells parking on the road. I've seen projects, so many projects that I've seen where it is a road, but the developers have sold the parking because it's part of the whole township. It's a gated community and they're showing all the roads, etc., access roads and all that, and they show parking there and that's been sold. Look for the documentation as per the norms. See if the parking is being marked there. If it is not marked, you cannot buy it. If you buy it, you have no rights on those parking. Make sure you have appropriate parking, you have the correct parking, and you know where you're getting the parking and you're getting it for free. That's it for today's review. We're going to end the show today. If you have any comments or any review that you want to do on projects, please write in the comments box below. Thank you.